Well, hello Orchard Beach and viewers. It's been a while since I've done a truck talk, so I thought I'd get one out today. I just got back from a couple weeks off, and so back into the grind and going at it again. I found myself down here at the lake. I'd like to show you where I am. I think my first truck talks happened down here at the lake, so I'm back to where we started. Beautiful blue-gray sky and dark brown water and waves down here, all by myself this time. But you ever notice how when you buy a vehicle, you get a new vehicle, you know, the certain model or color, and then all of a sudden you notice that car everywhere? You just see them everywhere, the one you just bought. Well, the same thing's been happening to me recently. We just at Orchard Beach, we hired a new youth director. Happens to be a woman, and also happens to be my wife, so we're excited about that. She's our new youth director at Orchard Beach. But ever since, anyway, we hired her on, now I've got a staff of a lot of women. And so with that, every time I'm reading in scriptures, I'm seeing women. It's just what I noticed right away. And I've been reading through Judges, and first there was Deborah. You know, people would come to her to help resolve their disputes and so forth, and she became a great leader of Israel herself, the woman Deborah. And then next there is this lady. Israelites are conquering the land. There's an enemy king, and he escaped, but a woman took him in and hid him away. Without him realizing it, when he fell asleep, her intent was to destroy the enemy in him. And so while he's sleeping, this woman God uses to drive I love the details of scripture, but uses a woman to drive a tent peg through his temple into the ground while he was asleep. But God used a woman there to conquer the enemy. And then the next woman, this is an interesting story I hadn't recalled before, but another leader of the Israelites going up against the enemies, he decided he wanted to promise to God, if you help me win, then I will sacrifice when I get back the first person that I see or I encounter when I'm back. Dumb promise to make. But anyway, he made that promise. And so he went out and he won the victory, and he comes back, and wouldn't you know it, the first person he comes across is his own daughter. She's his only child, and she's younger, and I know that by what I'm about to share here next. But anyway, he comes back from war, and she's dancing and she's celebrating, and she's banging on a tambourine, it says, just celebrating her dad's victory. And in that moment, his heart just sunk, and he got gripped with fear and sorrow because he knew what he promised God. And so he breaks the news to his daughter, and he's heartbroken and she's heartbroken. And what stood out to me is, here's this young lady, and the faith she had in God was so powerful. In essence, she basically said, Dad, you made a covenant to God, you need to keep it. But would you let me have 2 months, she says, would you let me have 2 months with my friends to wander out in the mountains, basically to mourn the fact that I'm never going to get to marry and I'm never going to have kids. So would you give me 2 months? And her dad agreed to that. But what stood out to me is this young lady's extreme faith. To know her dad had this relationship with the Father, and he made this promise, and her mindset was, you need to be faithful to the Lord. You need to keep your commitments to God. When you make promises before God, you need to keep them. And anyway, that just kind of stood out to me, and so I thought I'd give a shout out to all the ladies today. how God uses women in such powerful ways. And also an encouragement if you find yourself at a place where it's difficult to go on, or you're faced with a challenging situation. Just do your best to hear the Lord and be faithful. Whatever He says, how matter difficult it seems to be, no matter the sacrifice it takes to do it, be faithful to the Lord. That encouraged me. I hope it encourages you. God bless, and until we see you next time.